Hey y'all, welcome back to The Score. My name is Callie Montague, your host, and I just wrapped up a conversation with someone who I will describe as a fellow talking enthusiast, a yapper, if you will. He is the man at the mic at some pretty big World Series Ropings across the country. You've either backed in the box to his voice or heard his voice on videos, whatever it may be. But he's a lot of other things. He's a dad, he's a husband, and when they let him enter, he's pretty good at catching 2 feet. I am talking about Cade Passig, one of the main team members over at Mathews Land and Cattle out of Las Vegas, New Mexico. The reason I kicked off this intro by talking about our talking ability is because pre-editing, this conversation was 2 hours long, just without any clips, cuts, or anything like that. So this is my disclaimer that it won't be 2 hours edited, but it will be pretty long, and it is chock full of good stuff. We talk about how he's a student of the game, both in his roping, but also at the mic, which I found really interesting. He doesn't just get up there and let it roll. He's really trying to create an experience for you guys that are going to those Mathews Ropings and getting to rope with him out in Vegas, things like that. I thought that was really cool. We talk about being a dad, being a husband, all those awesome things. But we also talk about how he grew up, which I'd never heard that story, and I'm glad I asked because, man, it was pretty tough, but it turned him into the guy he was today, and now he wants to create as good a life as he can for Mr. Hardy, his little boy, and for Kirsty, his wife. So I love stories like that, and I'm glad to get to be the one to have the conversation. So this is my disclaimer that when you put 2 yappers at the mic, yes, it's sometimes 2 hours long, but I promise you're going to love it, and you're going to really enjoy it, or at least I hope you do. So here I am, yapping again, but without further ado, let's get into the episode. This episode of The Score is being brought to you by our friends at Fastback Ropes. A longtime supporter of the Team Roping Journal, Fastback takes pride in building quality ropes that offer the durability, performance, and consistency ropers can rely on. Let's get into the episode. First off, y'all went rodeoing. Everybody I've been talking to has been about Cowboy Christmas, but y'all did Cowboy Christmas in the mountains. I've never been out there. So what was that like? Tell me how it went, what you did, what you saw. Talk to me about it.
Honestly, it's pretty cool. It's just Capitan and Mescalero over in New Mexico, and it's 4 days, and there's 8 rodeos. One starts at 1 o'clock, one starts at 7 that night, and they're about 35, 40 minutes apart.
Yeah.
They got a couple jackpots, so you can go to 8 rodeos and 2 jackpots and go on 1 tank of fuel pretty much. And
Dang.
it used to be really big, like I was in high school and stuff, and it's kind of smaller now, but it's fun. It's just rodeos are good. They pay good. And they add money at both of them and get a decent amount of teams, and just kind of a fun place to go. And it's nice and cool up there too. Weather's always nice. I mean, it'll rain a lot up there sometimes, but still better than digging ditches in the rain. At least you're roping in the rain.
Yeah. I love it. Did y'all win anything or do any good?
Yeah, we won a little. We placed at the jackpots a little bit, and then placed at a couple of the rodeos, and we didn't do as good as we were hoping to do, but we still left with more money, enough to keep entering.
Cool. Very cool. Can y'all enter those deals twice, or does it go once?
We entered twice.
Okay.
We split with Kyla Bashir's and Caden Prince.
Gotcha. Yeah, I forgot Caden went with y'all. For those that don't know, which I do know the answer to this, but the people do not, or some people do, some people don't. Tell me about what life looks like for you these days. What you're doing, who you got with you, just what's life look like for you and your people?
Oh, well, it's just working with Chris at Mathews Land and Cattle, Foreign Mathews, and taking care of the ranches and the cows, and we got the feedlot up there, and Cody Ramon runs that for us and kind of keep stuff in order while we're gone, putting on ropings. We have 14 or 15, I think, World Series events that we produce throughout the year, including the South Point qualifiers at Vegas, and goes on during the finale. And then a couple of deals, like we do the Riata Buckle, we do a roping for the Baldwin family, the Rustin Baldwin Memorial.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, breaking his tears and putting on ropings, but it's we've kind of we rodeo quite a bit this winter, and then just kind of hung out around the house this summer and getting a circuit rodeo and stuff. And we got lots of steer stuff fixing to break in, and there's a good group of guys that young guys that come and help us do that all the time. And so we're just kind of hanging out at home, taking care of Hardy, letting him jump on his new trampoline.
Cool. Do you jump on that trampoline with him, Dad?
I do, yes. I broke it in. I did the backflip on it right when I got it put together. So.
Oh, thank God. I was worried you couldn't do it.
Well, I got to show him, that his dad's pretty cool, so.
Yeah. He'll learn. He'll know one of these days. Or he'll think you're the biggest loser that walks the planet. Those are your two options, I fear.
There's probably going to be a lot of people telling how cool I am. I just wanted to
For
see
sure.
it first, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let Dad show you there, bud. Don't let him tell you. Let me show you. Very cool. So what, and we'll get into your, what Mathews Land and Cattle, the whole story there, but what's your, title, or what are your main responsibilities, not title, but what's your main responsibilities week to week? I know we'll get to you being the man on the mic in a minute, but what during the week does that look like for you?
We have two ranches that we have that are, they're about 10 miles apart, and they're both 65 and 75 miles down the road. And I take care of both of those, so I go out there a few times a week and check water and feed cows and put out salt and stuff and make sure everything's good. And then most of the time, our feedlot is right there on the place that Chris and I live on. Mm-hmm. So, as soon as we wake up, we're there,
Yeah.
So a lot of, it kind of just depends. This time of year, we have a lot of ropings coming up. We're always sorting on steers and kind of getting the different herds of steers cleaned up and looking good. And there's always some steers, some fresh ones we got to, maybe process or kind of get groups of steers ready to break in. Seems like a lot of sorting, a lot of moving cattle around and stuff. And we've had really good, like I said, Cody Ramon at the feedlot does a great job for us. He feeds and grinds hay and takes care of the commodities end of it. So he stays caught up really good in that. So we don't really have to do a whole lot of that anymore because of Cody, which has been nice. And so mainly just kind of taking care of the steers and making sure everything's upright and feels good and sorted and ready to go to work or ready to get broke in.
Very cool.
A lot of breaking in steers and a lot of roping through steers.
Yeah. A lot of just steers.
For sure.
Steers run the world, don't they?
Steers, yes. Mm-hmm. There's a lot. That is one thing we are not short of. We have plenty of them.
Plenty of steers. Plenty of cattle on the home place.
Plenty of cattle on the ranch, yes.
Plenty of cattle on the ranch. I love it. All right, well, again, I feel like I'm skipping around, but I promise there's a method to my madness. So I'm not ignoring everything we just talked about, but I don't know no better, and I want the people to know. Tell me a little bit about how you grew up, because I don't know the story. I don't know anything about you other than you like to talk more than I do. But tell me a little bit about how you grew up and what that looked like, who you were around, who were your people. Tell me that story.
Well, I was actually, my mom and dad had lived in Hobbs, actually, New Mexico, and I was born in Seminole, Texas.
Goodness.
And we kind of moved around and kind of southeastern New Mexico a little bit. And my parents had actually divorced when I was a little younger, and so I'd lived with my dad, and we kind of, we were... basically anything my dad could do with a horse, a cow, and a rope is how he made a living.
Gotcha.
And so that's how he provided. It was just us two, and so that's how he kind of provided. And my dad roped and rodeoed professionally, and he took care of a bunch of wheat pasture cattle, and we day worked and just kind of whatever, trade on a couple horses every now and then. And we kind of moved around a lot there for a little bit, and we lived in Capitan, New Mexico. Mm-hmm. I think I went to school there from 7th grade to start of my freshman year, and then I got homeschooled so that I could rope more. And it was kind of, I'm not going to say childhood was just hard, but we moved around a lot and kind of had some different things going. So I didn't really just rope a whole lot. I started heading first, like most kids, and I think only went to honestly, I think I only went to like 2 Ropings head. And I remember the very first roping I entered, which is really crazy. It was in Penrose, Colorado, and I headed for Wade Kreitzer.
Oh, how funny.
And I'll never forget it because I hickeyed a horn. The very first competition loop I ever threw was illegal.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I entered one time that day and was out in the first round, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But I had Chris Francis actually given me a horse when I was a kid, and a black horse that he had. And he told me if I can win a buckle on him, I can keep him. And my dad would take me to these little junior rodeos in Millshoe. And I won a buckle. I won the steer breakaway on him. So I got to keep him. And he died. And
okay.
I had him for a little while. And I headed a little bit here and there. And then he ended up dying. And the only reason I even started healing was because my dad had sold a horse to a guy in Santa Fe, and we went over there to drop him off, and this older man asked me if I had a horse. Well, that horse had just died. Mm-hmm. And I told him no, sir. And I was pretty young, like I was probably in, I don't know, probably 5th grade. And he led this horse out of the barn, a bay horse, and he just handed me the lead rope, and he gave them to me, and he said, his name is Rerun, and old Rerun was crippled in 3 legs.
Okay.
And he said he roped calves and healed on him.
Cool.
And I was like, so I'm going to heal now. That's what I'm going to do. So I never had an arena or anything, so I went and got a goat and put it on a stake and roped the sawhorse and started healing the goat, and honestly, it's the only reason I started healing.
Because that's the horse you had?
Because that's the horse I had. I didn't really have a choice. And it wasn't going to be, I wasn't going to be a calf roper.
Oh, no, God, no, we couldn't have that.
Yeah. No, I was going to ride bulls first,
my
but the calf
goodness.
ride mugged me out a lot of times, so I hung my calf rope up, my bull rope up.
Bull rope.
Figured I'll just
I'll keep that. I'll go try to be a healer.
Yeah. So I just figured I'd probably just be a healer instead of a bull rider. But
yeah. Man, do you regret it? Do you wish you were a bull rider, Cade?
Not at this point, no.
No. Okay. Good.
No, I kind of thought I should dabble in it, but no, I'm glad I heal steers and not Red Bulls. But
okay. I'm glad too.
And then I've been around Chris since I was a little kid. Obviously, like he gave me the horse, and like he lived with us for a long time. Mm-hmm. When I was young, and like we spent a lot of time, like we had actually lived in Las Vegas prior to when I did now, and we lived with Chris, and so like Chris was honestly like pretty beneficial in my roping, because Chris roped the dummy every single day, all night. Yeah. And so to me, Chris was the coolest dude when I was a kid, so whatever Chris did, that's what I was going to do. Right. So I roped the dummy with him all the time. Mm-hmm. And like the very first check I ever won at a jackpot in my entire life was healing for Chris. Very cool. At Herman Coffee's Arena in Belen, New Mexico. People know exactly where that's at, right beside the sale barn. Mm-hmm. And I remember I won $170 something bucks. Dang. And I just thought there's never going to be a poor day. We went to A&W Burgers afterwards, and I just told my dad, I got this one. This one's on me. Oh my God. I got it. Yeah, get all you want. I got this. get the large fry, Dad. I got it. Yeah, get the large fry. Get a large. Make sure you get the frozen Muggaroo. Oh yeah, go ahead and get an ice cream cone too while you're at it, Dad. I got this one. Yeah. So I just kind of started healing and I guess I like to rope. I always did, but like when I was a freshman in high school, that's when I really got. And I had gone through a couple other heel horses that were older. And I actually ended up getting a buckskin horse. His name was Buttermilk, and I'm sure most people that remember me as a kid probably remember that old buckskin horse. And I wish every kid today or person learning to rope could have them a Buttermilk, because that's what made my healing like start to get a lot better, improve, because I had a horse that was faster and got to a better spot, and he got to the same spot every single time. Yeah, made it easy to learn, Yes, made it very easy. And honestly, and I've told this to a lot of people, I used Sutton ropes for a long time. And when I was a little kid, I was pretty small. Mm-hmm. And Sutton made a rope called a Supernova, and it was small, and it was orange, and it was real small around. I was a pretty small kid, and when I got that rope and I could actually hold it in my hand and swing it, it didn't feel like it was swinging me.
Yeah, you could control it.
Between that rope and Old Buttermilk, that's like,
Heaven
I think
on earth,
roping
baby.
started getting a lot more fun. Like, I was catching good, and then I remember I come home from school one day. I was going to public school, so I just started my freshman year of high school, and I told my dad, I was like, I think this is what I want to do. I want to heel steers for a living. Like, I want to try to be the best healer that I could be. And so we got homeschooled, and like, my dad hauled me all over the country. Like, and we had no steady source of income whatsoever. Like, we lived in an old single wide trailer house on less than an acre in Capitan. And I had a horse and about 3 goats, and I wore those goats out every day. And that's all I did was rope goats. And there was a few, Johnny Cox and Jerry Tolley and Big Jim Richards. They were nice enough to let me rope at their house when I was younger. Like Johnny Cox, he was won the All-American as a jockey. Like, I got to go rope with him quite a bit. And then now my brother-in-law, Jace, we're still great friends this day, still best friends, and we were good friends in high school, and they had built a arena right outside of town. So like, when I got to be a senior and stuff, I go rope over there a lot. But my dad hauled me all over the place. I'd go rope at Shane Sproul's house a lot when he was living in Cruces, and I'd go up and help breaking steers with Chris when I was younger. And just, my dad really did all he could to get me around guys that were roping good, which my dad roped good. My dad roped great. He roped both ends really good. But when I started roping a lot, my dad just set it down pretty much, because like, we could afford for one of us to do it, and he would rather it be me. Right. You know? Yeah, so that's like, awesome. He'd have a horse that he'd trade on that he can maybe head or heel on or whatever. Most of the time he'd find something he can head on. So if we went somewhere, he could turn me some steers. But I just, anywhere I could go and stay a few days and rope with somebody to get better. My dad always did a really good job of getting me to the right place.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is going to be a dumb question, but the shotgun that Chris was talking about, that's your dad, right?
That's my dad,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Just checking, because he talked.
You know a lot more shotguns?
Well, no, I don't, but I'm just making sure we're talking about the same person. Like, he said it, and I just, I just acted like I knew. I was like, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's my dad.
I didn't think to stop and be like, okay, we're talking about Cade's dad, right? Because, context clues, I figured. But, like, so if it's an appropriate story.
His name was actually Pistol, too, so that's...
Are you jacking with me?
No, swear. He was Shotgun. My dad is Shotgun. That's, like, his given name.
Oh.
His brother, my uncle, was Pistol.
Oh, my, and you're serious? Like, you're serious?
I'm 100% serious,
okay.
And I got Cade.
Yeah, they could have... There's so many cool things they could have named you.
Yeah, that's Archie Keeney called me Slingshot when I was a little kid at the US Ropings. And
there you go.
I've been BB Gun for a lot. Some of one of my good buddies, Brock. I don't think he's ever called me by my name. I think he's called me BB Gun my whole life.
I love it.
And
so you need like some sort of weapon.
He calls Hardy now our son Cap Gun.
Oh my God, how funny!
Yeah, so we got a long line of guns.
Yeah, a lot of weapons. And
yeah.
What is something that you learned either from like Chris or your dad or whatever from like those early years that has stuck with you to this day? I don't care if it's like life or roping or whatever, but with that environment, what is something that you learned back then that you think kind of carried through to today and now?
I spent a lot of time with Chris. Obviously, like I said, like he roped with my dad and stuff everywhere. So I was with him a lot, and I think like with them too, like I got to watch two guys that had to win.
Yeah.
And so like when it comes to like competition, like just learning how to win and getting to watch those two, and then getting to learn about it and apply it to my roping when I got older. And then just like, just getting around the country, like finding places to stay and, just little stuff like that. But I think the main thing is I feel like both of them guys are always serious and always took care of business. Like roping was a business, And so I think that's one thing that's kind of really stuck with me was was taking it serious and treating it as a business, look good, feel good, rope good kind of deal,
Mm-hmm. With kind of how you grew up with Chris and some other guys like helping you along the way, now Hardy, whom is your precious angel child, is kind of growing up similar, I would say, to how y'all are surrounded by young guys that are handy, and just being at the Ropings, he's surrounded by people that love it, do it for a living. Like, do you think, like, how cool is that I know he's not growing up similar to how you did, but in that way he is going to grow up around a lot of guys that are young, my age guys, that love him and are going to help him. They're all going to go to war for him, and I know you know that. But, like, how cool is that? In that way, he's grown up very similar to the way you did.
I think it's cool. I like seeing it just, like there's, like, Nehemiah that clears the arenas and helps with all the ropings. Like, he loves Nehemiah.
Yeah.
Like, he has a toy phone, and he always says he can't say Nemo, but he says Mimo.
Yeah.
He's calling Nemo all the time, and there's another kid, Tegan Taylor, that's at the house all the time, and, like, just seeing him, and, like, they'll be roping the dummy, and he wants to go rope the dummy.
Yeah, he's always swinging something, yeah.
Yeah, always swinging something, and then just the way people kind of interact with him, which I'll tell you what was, like, super cool that kind of tugged on my heartstrings a little bit, honestly, was when we were at Trey Paul's, the West Texas Open this year.
Mm-hmm.
He had I have a little wooden dummy that I got Hardy, has a little rawhide head on it, and we can't leave the house unless we have that dummy.
Right.
But I had given it to him, I think, for his birthday. Yeah, because he was born on the 1st. Like, yeah, it was on his birthday. And so a few days later, we're at that roping. Well, like, when I was a kid growing up, watching, like, the generation of guys that I always looked for, like, you kind of see them around and stuff, and, like, I had the opportunity to rope the dummy with a couple of guys that, like, I looked up to,
Yeah.
But Hardy had his little dummy set up over there, and, man, like, Peyton Bray and Ketch Kelton and a lot of those younger kids were all over. Like, he'd rope the dummy, and they'd clap their hands and cheer, and they'd get the rope, and they'd rope it, and I was just watching them, and I was like, like,
I might cry.
In Hardy's eyes, they're just some kids, younger guys roping the dummy with
him. No idea,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, you don't realize how talented all these guys are. And there was a herd of them over there. Those are just kind of the first two that come to mind. All over there roping the dummy with him and doing tricks on his dummy, and then he'd rope it, and they'd hoop and holler for him. I was like, man, that was pretty cool to see, because I thought that was pretty neat for me to watch.
Oh yeah. You always hope that, like, those age guys are going to take care of your kid, and, like, don't think they're too cool to be a little guy's friend. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm sure that was very special.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was kind of right on the. Like, I know a lot of people in the Team Roping Journal have heard stories about Mark Simon and stuff. Like, Mark Simon helped
Chris talked about him. Yeah.
When I was a kid, and I'm telling you, you leave your feelings at the gate when you pull into Mark Simon's house, because there's a chance they're going to get hurt. Yeah. And I always give him heck, because I told him he's only given me one compliment my whole life, and that's when he won the BFI. Like, that kind of generation, I don't know, guys were a lot harder back then.
Oh, yeah. Things were a little different, I'd say. It's like gentle parenting almost.
Different, and, like, I like the kind of that group of guys, like, I got to rope the dummy with some of them, and I thought it was really cool, and got to, like, spend time around them, and, like, I was old enough then to know who they were, so, I mean, they're, like, a celebrity in my eyes.
Yeah, of course.
I mean? But, like, getting to watch how those kids were, those young guys were around with Hardy, that was really cool for me to see, and to know that, because I like kids, and I like roping the dummy with kids and stuff, and I'm not saying that I'm what those kids are by any means, but all those guys were pretty decorated as far as accomplishments and stuff, so getting to see that was really cool. Yeah, like, kid, you have no idea how cool this is, but these guys, these new friends you just made are pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I want to tell them. Like, there's a lot of people that probably like to rope the dummy with Ketch Kelton.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. you brought up the compliment that you got about the BFI. Let's talk about the BFI, because not that I only know you because of this, but there's a chunk of our audience, I would say, that does know you from 2018 and from that day. So tell me, what do you remember? I know it's been, how long has it been? 8? Is that 8 years? Tell me.
Yeah, forever ago.
I know, long. I'm sure it feels like a lifetime ago. But tell me about what do you remember from that day? I act like it was a decade ago. Well, it was almost a decade ago, but tell me about that and just what you remember, I guess.
It was a good day. That was a good day for the Passig home.
Okay.
We drew really good, and I felt like we made. I mean, like it's the first. I just think sometimes when you do something, it's really hard to. It's really easy to say after. Well, this is what I did. You know? Yeah. And I don't mean it that way, but the first few times I went to the BFI, I was nervous because I mean it's the BFI, and that's that was the roping. Yeah, it still is, you know. But I went up there so many times before that, like probably 3 or 4 times before we did good, and my goal was just to catch 6 steers.
Yeah.
And I'd always feel like I never really felt like I would rope good and we wouldn't win nothing or whatever the case was, whatever happened. I just never felt like I roped how I should rope there.
Okay.
And I was just decided one time that I know I can catch 6 steers, but I should maybe have the mindset of going up there and try to win the roping and just that's all we have to do is just decide we're going to win it and go.
Blink your eyes and you're the champ.
Because the year before I had that same thought and I hit the first one right square in the tailhead.
Oh, good.
If it wasn't for gravity, I wouldn't even touch the steer.
Cool.
I missed the first one, but I had it on my mind that day that I'm going to be aggressive and I want to try to stay aggressive and I want to try to win because I didn't want to. There's a difference in trying to win and trying not to lose.
Yeah.
And there's a difference in trying to catch and trying not to miss. And I went up there all the years before trying not to miss.
Yeah.
Because it's always a go catch 6 steers, you know. And so I was just kind of I'm just going to, if I missed the first one, so what? And I did the year before. And then even the year before that, we had went up there and I had the same mindset and we were really good on 2. I think we were second average on 2, which a lot of roping left still.
Right.
Our third one was real cow horned and kind of tried and Chris popped it off of him. But that was the first time I left the BFI where I was like, I roped how I should rope.
Yeah.
I didn't rope timid or, you know what I mean? And still, then I go the next year and hit the first one in the butt and I was like, well, okay.
My bad.
But I just stuck to it and I felt like there were some steers the year we won it that if I wasn't aggressive, I very easily could have messed them up. And so for that to happen, it was pretty cool. And this will probably sound stupid too, but I've kind of always had I had done good at some major ropings up to that point. I had placed at the Survey a few times already, and I'd won 3rd at the U.S. Open, and I think we had maybe placed at the Wildfire by that point. I had some success. I've never had won one. I had won some bigger ropings, but as far as majors, no.
Yeah.
Chris had already won the U.S. Open.
Right.
So you know what I mean? But I had, I've always kind of had a confidence issue, I'm just not naturally confident, and so I. That day after it happened, we went and ate dinner, me and my wife, Kirsty, and Chris and Kenna, and Karsten was just a little baby at the time. And, she was just a little bitty girl at the time. And then Oren, we went and ate dinner, and then Kirsty lost $200 of our dollars playing cards real quick.
Good work, Mom.
And, we had it to lose, though, honestly. I was spend more.
Here, have fun. Hey, get the large fry.
Yeah,
get
so
the large
exactly.
fry.
Yeah, I got it. Do you guys have frozen mug root beer in this steakhouse? But and then we went back to the trailer, and I just remember looking at that check, and I was like, that because I was going to make sure I got the big check.
Yeah, right, of course.
And I was like, man, I was really trying not to let it go in my mind of was this a fluke deal? Was I supposed to win it? Cause
somebody else lost. You didn't win, someone else lost right there kind of deal.
Yeah, and then like I didn't want that to like go in my mind of like, oh, you got lucky, like you had a good day, you know. And
Yeah.
like the more I thought about it, I was like, I mean, we were high team back. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not like we were third and the roping fell apart, you know.
Right.
I feel like we roped a good roping, and I feel like I roped how I was supposed to rope there. And honestly, like we've done good at the BFI since, and I've had that same mindset, and I've missed the first one. I don't know, like 2 or 3 other times since
Cool.
then. Like, I mean, but I just kind of I felt like I had that mindset at all the ropings except that one.
Yeah.
But that was just a good day for all of us.
Yeah. Win for the home team.
For everybody. Yeah, and it kind of set us up to where we could if you buy some horses and things like that. So that was, because if you ask my wife, we can make some money, but I'm very good at spending it.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe you are.
Yeah, I know how to spend it.
Yeah. Hate to have it because it'll get spent.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I grew up with no money, so like money doesn't like define my character. Like if I don't have none, I'm not like, oh man, the world's gonna end. Like,
right.
It don't matter to me. We'll make more tomorrow somehow. We'll walk around.
Somebody's gonna give me some more. Yeah.
But yeah, let's spend it while we got it. I mean, we can't continue with this.
Right.
At least on something, you know.
Yeah.
Buy some bridles or saddles or horses or
buy a horse. Yeah.
Yeah, Hardy a trampoline, whatever.
Yeah. I love it.
Or a TV, because he crushed our TV the other day with his baseball bat. So.
Oh man, way to go, kid.
Yeah.
I think I got that video too. Yeah.
Yeah, that comes from his mom, I think.
Does it? Just full of hate and anger like mom, or what?
Yeah, I think that kind of comes, the TV smashing come from his mom. But.
Cool. Here's a question for you, and this is a biased question because this is how I feel about this person, but so when y'all won the BFI, I was reading the article because I didn't read it back then, so I read it 2 days ago. And Denny Gentry brings up Byron Wilkerson and how, like, you and Chris, and how he never made the NFR, right? But it's argued that he is one of the best ever that didn't make the NFR before he had the chance to.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
I was
okay, good.
Big time Byron fan, yeah.
Very cool. So, like, what does that mean? And again, I know it's been 8 years ago, but I'm assuming Denny still thinks this, that, like, he kind of put y'all in that category of, like, some of the best to ever do it that either won't. I don't think Chris said won't ever. I know you're a little different. Me and him talked about why you're different, but like haven't made the NFR yet, but at the caliber of guy that just hasn't made it, not because he can't, just because he hasn't yet. You know what I mean? Like, how is that to be compared to somebody like Byron? Because he did straight up compare y'all to my hero. I mean, Byron's my hero, so I bet I want to know how that feels to you.
No, I for sure it was a compliment. I thought Byron was really good. He always had good horses, and like, dude had. Like, people talk about longevity, like, yeah. I mean, for a guy that didn't make the NFR, Byron stayed relevant for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was never just Byron's here. Like,
yeah.
Byron could still beat you and still, and it's kind of crazy that you brought that up, because I have a year to the day that Byron had passed away,
mm-hmm.
I had taken a picture on Snapchat and I saved it in my memories. And every day, on that day, I try to run 2 or 3 or 4 steers without a glove like Byron, just for Byron.
Just for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I put that sunbuckle right back on.
Oh, yeah. get your forehead out of the way, and then it hurts. We got to have it back.
Yeah, I do, but I do it. I do it every year for old Byron.
That's awesome.
Because, yeah, his mitt was like a bear paw.
Oh, my God, yeah. It was... I told this on Chris's, too, and so if people are listening to this after they listen to Chris's, yes, I'm repeating it. But so Dad and him were best friends, dear friends, and so when the Straight was in San Antonio, back when they still had it, obviously, all those guys from Arizona, and I couldn't even tell you who they were. I remember him only. Like, Dad could probably name off all of them. Like, I don't remember any of the other guys that he had either heading for him or whatever, but, like... They all would come, stay at the house. Yeah, I only remember him. And he loved, it was like peanut M&Ms and Dr. Pepper or something like that. And my mom had to buy like cases of it when he came because that's all he would eat and all he would drink. And we would play Wii. Yeah, I'm like 10, mind you. I'm 8, 9, 10 years old. And we would play Wii until like hours into the night. And I'm a child. And we would just play Wii Sports all night long. And I just, like I told Chris, I told my dad all the time, like, I wish I was older to get to like really have enjoyed that. I mean, I remember and love the memories, but like if I was 25 and we were getting to do that, oh, I'd never forget it, you know. So he was. There's pictures of like on my mantle in my mom and dad's. On mom and dad's mantle in the house. There's like a picture of me roping calves, a picture of my brother that one time he roped calves, my sister running barrels, and then my dad healing a steer, and then Byron. That's who's on our mantle at home. Like we have we have Byron on one of his good bay horses healing on our mantle at the house. So yeah, we were big Byron fans at our house. So I thought that was cool that Denny said that about y'all a few years ago. So I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, that was definitely a compliment.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like I've just always wanted to rope the best that I've always wanted to be the best that I could be, and I've wanted to do it at a high level. Like I wanted to have success at a high level, and I mean, obviously, just like everybody, you want to have longevity. Like you don't want to just be good one time.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You want to continue to be good. So like I've just always wanted to make a living with a rope, however I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's what. And honestly, that's what I like so much about what I do now is my wife, Artie, our entire livelihood is team roping.
Right.
I mean, that's all we do. We raise the roping steers. We break them in. We rope through them. We put the ropings on. We go a lot. I mean, that's what, I mean, it's not like Chris and I have an office job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we are out there every day breaking in steers or roping through, and I mean, I'm not going to say we rope every single day, but I mean, for the most
Pretty
part,
close,
we rope
yeah.
a lot.
Right.
We run a lot of steers, and I mean, we break in 900 or 1,000 head a year. I mean, there's a lot of team rope that goes on at our house. So,
yeah.
And then we still get to go rodeo and go to all the major jackpots and the big ropings and doing all that stuff. So, like, I mean, yes, I do have a job, and that obviously helps to pay for some stuff, but like roping is what makes the living. Like that's
the core of it all.
That's how we pay for this rig and pay for all the horses that we get and buying new horses. Like that's what makes the living, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard for me to say, like, I might not live in Stephenville and rope that way for a living, but I still get to rope, and team roping is our livelihood. I mean, that's why we got married when we did, because that was the only weekend there was nothing to go to.
Oh, how funny.
And like obviously the people that are coming to our wedding also rope. So, right. I mean,
worked out for everybody.
And I actually was at the Capitalist at Driggers Roping, and we drove my dad, me and Chris, we drove all night home so I could be there for the reception the next day.
Oh, for your own wedding?
Yes.
Cool. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so I mean, that was, Kirsty had it handled. I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't have to be there, like, I guess.
She didn't need me for that part of the whole deal.
No, just
as long as I was there for the wedding.
Right. My God, Cade.
That was all we needed. But no, I mean that's why we got married in October, because there was nothing really honestly going on at that time. So it was the best time to get married.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and ironically, which is just, I guess, I don't know if you say small world or what, but the arena that we got married in an arena right outside of Las Vegas, where we live now, in Watrous, and that is, I roped my very first year of my entire life by 2 feet in that arena when I was a little kid.
Wow.
They had like a practice there, and we lived in northern New Mexico in a little town called Miami. And my dad took me down there right after I got old rerun, and there was a steer. I mean, I could get my rope down there, but I couldn't catch, you know. And there was a steer that run up the rope real bad, and the guy, Benny Padillas, who he said, if I could catch the steer by 2 feet, he'd let me practice for free. And I caught the steer by 2 feet. That's my first one ever. And then we got married there.
Was that like on purpose? Like, was that on purpose that y'all got married there? Okay.
No. It was an October wedding, and it was in Las Vegas, New Mexico, northern New Mexico. Yeah. So there's a chance the weather might not be great.
True,
we make sure we had it inside, and I don't know. There was quite a few people, so we need to have like enough room for everybody.
Right.
So, and then it worked out. It was a good night.
That's so funny, and so it's the most team roper wedding story I've ever heard in my life. But I love it. Well, let's talk about let's talk about being the man on a mic for a second, if you don't mind. So, I know what you do, like when y'all are at home, but you are what do you say? Are you the ringleader? You're the man on the mic at the Mathews Land and Cattle Ropings, for those that don't know. Yeah, the conductor. Thank you. That's even better. Yeah. So, tell me about how that kind of came about. Like, because you weren't that's not why you got brought on, I assume, over there. So, kind of tell me the story with Mathews and how that all started.
Yeah. Well, the reason I started working up there is I actually went up there I was insanely broke.
Okay.
And Chris said, hey, we got a lot of steers to break in. I'll pay you a little bit if you come up here and help me break these steers in. I was like, yeah. Well, I was going to the college rodeos in Texas, too, at the same time. So I'd stay up there all week and rope, and I'd go down to college rodeos and come back. And that was 13 years ago. I just never left.
Okay. Love it.
Eventually, they were like, look, day wages, how about we just put you on salary and you can just work here? I was like, even better. Because me and Chris were going to start. We had kind of talked a little bit about, maybe going to some circuit rodeos and sneaking around to some bigger rodeos and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that winter he had roped with maybe Walt at a couple places and John Paul, and so he was going to go home for a little bit, and we had kind of talked about roping. Which we had roped together since I was a little kid, obviously, right. But so I was like, yeah. So we went up there. Well, they had ropings, and they were taking steers to ropings at the time. And so I just started. I worked from the bottom up. I raked boxes first, and then I was on the chute crew, and then I would run steers up and move steers around, and then eventually I started flagging, and I flagged for a while, and I liked flagging. It was pretty good, and the only reason I started announcing was just kind of by accident, because we were in Las Cruces at Sproul's house, and we had a World Series down there, and I had been flagging all weekend. Chris was actually giving me a break, and I was sitting in the back of the arena sorting steers, and I think it was Orange's daughter who was announcing at the time. And something happened. Whatever it was, the middle of the rotation needed to do something. I can't remember. The girls in the office were busy, so we all have radios.
Right.
I was just jacking around. I was like, you want me to come up there and call these teams out? Well, then everybody's like, you won't do it. So I was like,
watch me.
All right. So I just went up there, and I just went full tilt. It was, thanking sponsors and just everything I could. Well, I had always kind of liked announcing anyways. I never really thought I would do it, but I left, and everybody's like, Andy kind of sounded pretty good. Well, then, that was towards the end of the year, I think September, and then October we had a roping at the Rose Palace, and I had told Kenna that day after the roping, I was like, man, honestly, I would announce a little.
Yeah,
that really
if you wanted me to, yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the end of the conversation. Never talked another word of it. We get to October is Rose Palace in San Antonio, and Kenna says, she calls me Saturday morning, and she was like, hey, there was one of the girls in the office didn't show up or couldn't show up or something. She's like, you think you could announce? And I was like, yeah, sure. So, I got up there, and I was like, now it wasn't just having fun. Now, the mic's pointed at you. And
yeah.
How do I open the rope, and how do I can read the names and call the team numbers, you know what I mean? But
right.
I was like, I don't know anything more than that, So I did that, and then did it that weekend, and I don't know, a lot of people said sounded good, and got some compliments, and I kind of got to where I was comfortable up there, because there is a little bit of stage fright, because everybody's waiting on you, and you
right.
gotta be the one talking on the mic. So kind of got over that. Well, then we had Vegas coming up, and that's when we were still at the Orleans. Mm-hmm. We already had an announcer for that. So I flagged, and then I think it was not till we didn't really have any ropings at the beginning of the year then. And so I think the Wiley Hicks was the next one in March, but Reed Flake announces that one. Mm-hmm. So we get back to Las Cruces in May, and actually Jet Sharp come down there to announce. And so I sat in there with Jet and kind of learned the computer program more.
Yeah.
And learned about the timer and just a few other little things like that. Then he gave me a bunch of tips, and because I mean, there's kind of a lot more to it than just
for
getting
sure.
up there. And especially, I mean, if you want to do it like, I mean, anything I'm going to do, I like.
Yeah, go ahead and do it right.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess excuse my language. My dad always told me from a deuce time, don't half-ass it. You know? So, like, and so that's kind of stuck with me. So I was like, I want to be like
good, yeah.
Marky and Farron and Ben and Reed and Drew Stew and those guys that you'd listen to, you know? And I like that anyways, because, I mean, it didn't matter. And when I was a kid, you know, I mean, the U.S. Ropings were the deal. You know, they were huge.
For sure.
And so, like, you'd show up to – it didn't matter. I could go to a 2 for 10 on a Wednesday night, and if Ben or Farron or somebody was announcing it, I was nervous.
Yeah.
Like, it was all of a sudden,
so like a big roping. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was a big deal, you know? So, like,
it's still like that. If those guys are not, that's still what that means.
Yes,
that has not changed.
Yes, exactly. And so that's kind of like how I was like, and that's kind of what I want to do. So I would give Jet a break, and I'd announce a rotation or something every once in a while. And it was funny because people would come up to the window and like look in there, like, who the hell is this guy? You know? And so I just, from that point on, I just full blown announcer.
And they've never made you flag since then. That's nice of them.
Yeah, I do. Reed still does the Wiley Hicks, so that's my one rope in the year I get to crack out and flag out.
Right.
So I bring me a brand new flag every year, and I'm ready.
You're ready, yeah. It's a good roping to flag. It's a great roping.
Yeah, and I like it too, because I mean, like announcing, you don't really get to mingle with nobody or visit. You know, you're just up there, just you and the timer, and calling names out with like flagging, you get to see people a little more, so it's kind of cool just to do that. But I really enjoy announcing. Good. And it's crazy, a lot of people don't know I do announce. Like, there was one guy that he'd come to the Ropings for 4 years. Had no clue that he thought I just roped in the open and went home.
Oh, how funny. No idea.
No clue that I was the announcer. Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
And like, there's a lot of my buddies. Like, I remember Sid Sporer, I still don't think he believes me.
that it's you?
Because he asked me one day, he was like, what do you do at the ropes? Like, announce. He's like, shut up. I was like, seriously?
No,
I was like, I did the US finals in Fort Worth the first year they had it. I was like, and he's like, no way. I was like, all right, whatever you say.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you, but yeah, that is me.
Yeah, me, Farron, and TC.
Yeah.
First ones in Fort Worth.
How funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So, I do enjoy it. I like it a lot. It's really cool. And just, I don't know, you control the speed of the day.
Yeah, you're definitely in control of the situation.
And I like, I don't know, I like doing the extra stuff, like with the sponsors, and I don't want to just be names and numbers. Like, right. I want it to be...
You definitely do more than that, I would say.
I want to sound good and stuff. I do know that it took forever for me to get used to hearing myself.
Oh, really? How funny.
My goodness. Yeah. I mean, you know how it is, like, you listen to a recording of yourself, and you're like, do I really sound like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, I do a podcast, trust me, I know. You're like, there's no way that's what I sound like. True story.
Yes, and there'd be people that come up and be like, man, you sound so good, you're doing such a good job, and, thanks, whatever. I used to set my phone out and record, like, 10 teams. I go back and listen to it, and I just feel like, gag, how could you come up
you
here
sound terrible. Ugh.
And which, like, now, like, I sound different now than when I did starting. Just, like, you just kind of get comfortable, and you find your...
Yeah, find your groove.
Find your cadence and your tone, and, like your kind of, like, modulation, and... like your intonation, everything of your tone, you kind of like settle on it. Like you finally find your voice, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the funniest thing about announcing is so many people think I change my voice. And
I was about to ask you that.
Like I'm not sitting up there all day, like physically changing my voice to sound any way. It's just, it's like, it's how you breathe. And I mean, I enunciate better and things like that, but
right.
I'm not, I mean, you want to hear what somebody really sounds like when they announce that? Get them a day that's got about 1,000 teams in it, and head up there about 3 o'clock. Head up there about 3 o'clock and see how their voice sounds. That's how they really sound.
Yeah, that's their truth. That's the truth right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me that's how you sound. So if you're up there trying to change your voice, I promise you don't sound the same.
Yeah, you'll get tired of about 100 teams.
Yeah, just finding your kind of how you breathe and your cadence and like how you call things out. And I mean, I guess the correct term is modulation. That's like the lady that does a Siri voice. She doesn't sound like Siri when she walks around.
Right. You wouldn't know it was her talking to her.
Yeah, it's just kind of, like fine tuning your tone. You know what I mean? And then the intonation is like what makes it pleasant to listen to, and that's just like the rising and lowering of your pitch,
Yeah.
Like, that's like the auctioneers. That's why they're so good to listen to, because they, it's a it sounds like it goes up and down, and like Ben Clements, Farron, like they all do such a good job with that. And so, like, it's pleasant to listen to, but that's all stuff that, like, public speakers use.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's all goes down to those basics for sure.
Yeah, and so, like, I've researched stuff on, like, how to not necessarily, like, I guess sound better, I guess is what I'm going to say. I mean, I don't really know a way around it, but, like, just, like, public speaking stuff and, like, what to do, like, with your tone. But, like, I don't know. With announcing, I'm still student of the game, just like roping. Like, I love listening to the guys like Drew and Reed and Farron and Jet and Ben that have been doing it for a long time, and just listen to how they say things and how they like start the roping and introduce the flag and like killing downtime, like that's the one thing as an announcer, like when you don't want the roping to be dead, like you need to be saying something
always. Right.
Yeah, so that's just all stuff that, I mean, it's taken years to get better at, and I still feel like I'm trying to get better at it, but I really do enjoy announcing.
That's awesome. This episode of The Score is presented by Fastback Ropes. A longtime supporter of the Team Roping Journal, Fastback takes pride in building quality ropes that offer the durability, performance, and consistency that ropers can rely on. With commitment to craftsmanship, innovation, and customer satisfaction, Fastback continues to create products designed to bring value both in and out of the arena. Visit fastbackropes.com to shop ropes and gear, find a retailer, or download the latest catalog. Now let's get back into the episode. You can tell that you do, so that's good to hear that you do.
Yeah, and I got a gold mic, so I mean, there's that.
You do have, you do. For those that have never been up there, he's not lying. It is
solid gold.
Solid
mic.
gold.
I mean, it's not for everybody,
Nope, but you know what? Players play. You know what I mean? Winners win.
Yeah, well, that's what Jet was giving me a hard time with throughout a buckle when he started doing it with me, because I think I'm the only announcer that uses a mic stand. My elbow, I hate holding the damn thing all day. So I got a mic stand, I got a gold mic, I got a keypad.
You're very fancy.
He's like, you just have accessories. You don't need all this stuff.
Like a woman.
And I was like, I do need all this stuff.
Of course I do. It's my office.
I'm going to get freaking tennis elbow holding this mic up.
Microphone elbow.
Yeah, and I always crack up like people who don't realize that I do. Like Colin,
that it's
one
you.
year throughout a buckle, I had done the breakaway first. It was before the Open. And so I announced the breakaway, then I go down there, and Colin's like, "You're a real announcer?" He's like, I didn't. He's like, I was like, "You didn't know I announced?" He's like, "Well, I did, but
not for real.
I didn't know you were like a real announcer." Well, thank you. That's a compliment.
I hope you mean that in a nice way, but cool. Thanks. It's like a backhanded compliment, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, it's like, so when I was in college, I judged horses, and we have to give reasons, right? And you know how I am. I love to talk. I never shut up. But like, we were taught how to like draw people into the things you're saying. So like, it's about volume and all the things. So when you're talking about like, that all goes back to public speaking, same thing, right? But like, you would be blown, you wouldn't, because you know what I mean, but blown away by like just dropping the volume as you're talking. Like, it's like a 1.5 minute long script essentially that you're following. And like, when you quiet down a little bit and you kind of draw them in, you get quiet and they pay attention all of a sudden. Well, then you blow it back up and then they're like, holy moly. And so, yeah, I used to geek out about that because, my voice is both the best and worst thing about me, I fear. So like, that science is the coolest. Like, it's how crazy someone's voice, like how fast a voice can take control of a room, which is literally your whole job, is taking control of a situation like that. So yeah, I relate to the geeking out part for sure, because for a year of my college life, that's what I was geeking out about.
Yeah, and I've looked into like a lot of that stuff and read about it, and just to kind of better myself. But like, I've really tried. I think Farron, I think a lot of people would agree that Farron's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, his wittiness, his vocabulary is phenomenal.
Pretty cool. Yep.
You know, and I think it's really easy to just say the same thing over and over and
Oh,
over.
yeah.
As an announcer, it's all repetitive. You're doing the same thing, you know.
Right.
So you can say the same sayings or the same thing all the time, and so and you never hear that with Farron. So
Right.
I really like that. That's something like I try to be better. Like John Sharp announced for us for a few years, and I think John is great. John does a great job, and John he has that vocabulary and that like sharpness. Like I think you could give John a microphone, just walk him up there, give him a microphone, and you can have like an empty saddle tribute, and he know nothing about the person or nothing, no script or nothing, and I think he could talk for 2 straight minutes.
Yeah, and just sputter it off.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like stuff like that to me is really cool, and I know John could do that because when there's some downtime at a rope, and John he'd get in them sponsors now, and I'd always go home and jack with him, but that's how like Farron and all the guys that are good, that's how they would. Yeah, that's how they are, you know. So that's having that not just wittiness on jokes, but like being able to find something to say right now and knowing how to say it, you know.
For sure. Well, that's something that
articulate it.
Right, and that's something that like this, and just for me personally, like if y'all are paying it, if you're not just saying the same like canned things, it's all this like you're pulling out of the same hat every single time. You do this, Bird's good at this, John does it, Farron's obviously the king of it, but like when you're back in the box and you're a 5th high call and you're a straight 4, right? And the announcer says something that's like either specific to where you live or you as a person or whatever, like it makes you feel so cool. And that's why those guys keep coming. Like that's part of why people come back, because you're like, you back in there and y'all are paying attention to the rope and you saw every run that day. Like you make fun of me for my big feet and my 5-inch brim hat that I wear, and that's fine. But like when I back in the box and you and Bird are announcing, oh man, yeah, you're so mean. But yes, that's whatever. But when I'm back in the box and y'all say something, like I don't live in Canyon anymore, but when I did something about being from the Panhandle, I'm just like, oh, I am from the Panhandle. Watch that, you know. Not that I've spent like one short round count a year, but you know what I mean. Like that's like the coolest thing ever. And I don't care how cool of a person you think you are, like. That right there it'll shoot my blood pressure through the roof because I'm like, oh yeah, it's game on. Like y'all all need to go home. I'm the coolest one here because those announcers are my friends and they make me feel cool, and it's game over. So that y'all are.
Well, I always tell people all the time, my favorite short rounds are from about the 11 down.
Oh yeah, those are the best.
Oh my God, and like roping is so pure at that point.
Yep.
And
that's hilarious. That's exactly what Chris said.
I'm trying to sell excitement, and I get excited because I'm a fan of team roping anyways.
Yep.
And I don't care if it's the open or the 7. I like roping and I like watching it, and I'm just a fan of it. So, like, sometimes, and Farron told me one time, he said, just turn the music up and announce it like you're a fan in the stands.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
I said, that's exactly like... That's the thought, but I don't know how to say it. And you just said it perfect because that's how I feel. Like, and he said, that's all you got to do. And I told him, or I told, when I was talking to Hayden, because like Hayden Powell, like you said, Bert announces for us now, and Hayden does a great job.
Yeah.
And like his tone and everything has gotten to be so good, and he's like a mix of Arky and Ben.
He's right in the middle. Yeah. Real twangy.
I can hear both of them.
It's very Bird, but it's very it's got a twang and kind of a cowboy kind. Yeah, it's right in the middle.
Exactly. And so we always laugh about that, but like I'm trying to sell excitement, and when people are buying, it's so easy. Like I get I'll turn the music up, and I get excited for it, you know. And like I always say, like the high number, you get like the 13. The wife doesn't even clap, and the guy.
No, the wife's not even there. What are you talking about? The wife didn't even come.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're trying to get excited, and you're just like, come on.
But the 8, they brought
stomp their feet or clap their hands or something.
Somebody do something.
Help me. Yeah, it's hard to sell excitement when nobody's buying. Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of places, though. The smaller ropings, it's kind of like that. But for the most part, like I want, like my goal is I want the guys, like even the higher number guys, like I want one to heel one and like pull back, like you know, like I don't
you
want
made it that cool.
Like it's a 2 for 10. You know what I mean? Like I want it to mean something. You know?
For sure.
And to me, that's just how I am in the short round anyways. I don't care if it's a 12-teamer or 1,200 teamer. Like, I'm just excited. I'm excited I'm roping in the short round.
Yeah, I'm just happy that I got to a fourth one here, people. Fifth one.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, that's what's cool is, like, and again, you know me, I can't help but make it about me, but, like, the last short run I was in, y'all were announcing, both you and Bird were announcing. I was 23rd high call out of, like, 30 teams. And just, like, you know, y'all are two of my dear friends. Bird's one of my best friends. And I back in there, I'm like, they're going to say something cool. Y'all didn't because y'all are nice. But, like, afterwards, oh. And we placed. We were, like, 10th in the rope, and they paid us. It was the coolest thing. It was the only money I've won all year. But, like, you made 23rd high callback feel as cool as high callback did. Me and that guy kind of ran through one, you know, for a 10 roping that we were in. It was a good run. And I was like, oh, man. And my guys were announcing right there. And people video. Oh, this is the coolest I felt all year because I don't get to enter anymore. So just the fact that I got to run a fourth one was a miracle. But Chelsea said when we did my podcast, and this isn't a quote, but she said something like, we're in the experience business, right? So, like, that's, y'all are selling excitement. We're in the experience-based business. So if it's not an experience, people don't come back. So we do have to keep doing that. So y'all are obviously a huge part of that. So.
Well, that's what, like, I think, because I don't announce, I only announce our ropings, obviously, and then, like, I do the regatta buckle and stuff like that. But,
right.
Like, our deal with Mathews Land and Cattle is it's a customer-based business producing ropings. So you have paying customers. So your customers have to have a good experience because that's how ropings grow.
Right.
That's how
why
they
people come
stay
back.
good. That's how they get better. Yes. So, like, that's all part. There's a lot of, I feel like there's probably 3 or 4 things that go into a good roping, but I think that, like, that's part of it. And that's one thing we want is we want to have an event.
Yeah.
We don't want to have a jackpot or a roping. Like, we want it to be, and I think we've done, and, like, we've been doing it a long time now. And I mean, I've been up there for 13 years doing it.
Golly.
And they were doing it before. So, I mean, like, yeah, it's not like it come overnight now that, like, our ropings have been good. We've been very blessed with some good locations and some big ropings, and we've got great people that, like, are reoccurring. I mean, there's guys that from South Texas that come to Andrews and like drive all over. So
y'all are the only ropings they go to.
But that's like, selling that experience of being there and being in the short round and it being a good time. Like, that's how you keep customers happy, and that's how you keep people wanting to come back and get the, like, I want you to want to be in the short, even if you're 19th callback, just because it's going to be loud, it's going to be rowdy, and everybody's get on the edge of your seat. Like, we're fixing to pay somebody a lot of money here. We don't want you missing out on it. You know?
If you're at the trailer, come to the arena. We're about to have some fun.
Yeah, we just got through 500 teams in this 9-rope right here. Like, everybody get around.
Yeah, it's game time.
Walk out here, a lot of money.
Yeah, it's all about to be worth it right here.
It could be anybody. 23rd callback might come back and win 10.
That's right. Hey, it can happen to anybody. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
I mean, you never know. I've seen crazier things happen.
That's right. You've seen 20th high callback winner open. It happens.
Yes.
It can happen. Happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, like, I think that's all part of the, like, experience of, like, having an event.
Right.
And that's like I was saying, John was great at doing that, and, like, Bird's honestly, he was super natural when he come up there. And
he's like, unfortunately, he does like the sound of his own voice, I fear. Me and him talk about we talk about that a lot. Loves the sound of his own voice. Ask me, I can't get on the phone with him without him. That's my favorite thing. I won't put this, I mean, actually, I will leave this in there because Bird's going to listen to this, but a 2-hour-long conversation, I bet, and I talk. You know me, dude. I have a hard time not talking. He will call me and just talk to himself for hours. I'm like, get after it, dude. Yeah. I'm like, yep, cool, yep. I don't even know what he's saying. I go, I'm doing chores or something. Like, I'm not even listening to what and he's like, right, Cal? I'm like, oh, right, absolutely, dude. You're all over it. He just keeps going. So, but there's,
That's what I tell him all the time. Like, I want it. I said when you get dull as an announcer, do you get sluggish? The roping does.
Yeah, it slows the whole day down.
Like, don't think when the 2:30 rolls around, I won't put some toe tapping tunes on and turn it up a little bit and kind of get everybody, you know what I mean? Get everybody kind of locked back in, and let's
gotta wake up here.
You know how many times I do a sing along at the rope? I don't even announce it. I'll just play tequila and just turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Turn the volume, just drop it like a rodeo perf.
And there's like 7 people in the stands.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but that's 7 that yelled tequila, so
That's
we're
right.
paying attention. I got 7 people paying attention.
That's
in there.
right.
Yeah, then after a couple songs go by, then they know what's happening, and like it, I don't know. I want everybody to have a good time. I mean, especially like you get to a roping where it is, got 400 teams in it.
Mm-hmm.
Starts to lull a little bit, and you're like, we need to.
Oh man.
Get some blood flowing in here. Get some, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people are napping in the stands. We need to wake this up.
We need to. I want it to be a good time for everybody.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite things, other than the tequila bit that you do, is like the other day when we were in the second arena in Hamilton, and like I think it was the last day. It was probably the 8 or maybe the 7, and there was a cutoff, which, that aside, maybe a team every 10 minutes would walk down the hill. Like, I'm talking maybe. You remember this.
Yeah.
And you were just like, what? You were looking around like, who can I make fun of? Can we sing? What can we do right here? Like, we're about to fall asleep. We were falling asleep in the announcer stand, just sitting there. So,
yeah, that was a long day.
That was a long day. Yep. That
was long days.
Yeah. That was a long weekend. But.
Yeah. And there's I'm not opposed to poking fun on the mic.
No way.
I'll definitely, there's a lot of, and sadly, there's a few people that just seem to always be on the wrong end of the joke.
Yeah. I can't imagine who you're talking about, but yes, I totally understand.
But they enjoy it. Yeah.
Do we?
It. But I think they do. I say that they do, just so I can keep doing it.
Sleep better at night? Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never been to therapy, but if I did, it'd be from the fact that every single time I step in the arena, not in the box, you were saying something about my big feet or my big hat. So yeah, I'm
just saying you'd probably be easy to track.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. What is it when you?
It's no big deal. I bet you could climb a tree like a mother.
Yeah, I don't even have to rent skis when I go to the mountains, dude. I just hop, I just see y'all down at the bottom and just take a step Yep.
Yeah, you just point downhill.
Pretty much, yeah. Just kind of find the bottom of it and point that direction, and especially with my hat, we just sail down there. It's pretty. Like when it rains, I don't have to be worried about anything. I just kind of float across the top of it, pretty.
Yeah, but the big as the hat is, your feet are not going to get wet.
No. I pretty much float off the ground about a foot, or not a foot, an inch, just because my hat keeps me dry. So it's good. It's all in good fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So you said there's a couple things that make a good roping, and I kind of want to steer us back to like off of you talking about yourself, and we'll get back to like the roping part of it. What do you think makes a good roping? This is kind of a dumb question. I'm sure everything obviously has to be good, but what do you think key things are to make a roping that people are like, man, I got to go back to that one or whatever?
Well, honestly, before I even say anything, I don't want this to come across as like, oh, we have the best.
Right. Yeah. I just mean it doesn't matter who it is. Like.
Yeah, and I don't want that to be there's a lot of people that have great steers and good ropings, and so I don't mean it like, if you don't do it like us, you're not going to do it at all. I'm not trying to say that at all. I feel like with us and Mathews Land and Cattle and Orrin and Chris and Kenna and me and Kirsty, like, I feel like for number one, I would say the steers, because that's the very first thing that everybody talks about when they leave the roping.
Right.
If you call anybody and say, how was the roping? They'll be like, and then they'll say
good.
The steers were blank. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the first thing. And I think, like, Chris and I are both, like, we want to rope good steers where we go. So we want to make sure the steers are good. Granted, they're animals. So
can only do so much.
You can only do so much sometimes. But I think in, like, the way that we break them in and keeping them sorted, and not only that, but, like, Chris is, honestly, I would say, and this can be biased, but he's the best at setting a roping up for what the steers are, what the roping is, and, like, the arena conditions. Mm-hmm. And because a lot of times you go places, the steers are good, but, like, the roping's not set up good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like long barrier, short arena.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So
little things people don't think about.
That, I think that the steers, and then I think number two would be, like I said, being a customer-based business, like, you have to have customer service. And I think that Ken and Kirsty and all the girls in the office and the flaggers and Chris running the roping, I think they all do a good job of, like, riding the line of being firm but understanding. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's something that is really important, because like you can't lean all the way into just, you can't let the monkeys run the zoo.
Okay.
But you also can't be so firm to where people feel like they're not treated right.
Yeah, the monkeys have to be comfortable in the zoo.
And not like, and that's from how that interaction is in the office to the flaggers to everybody. Like, you know, you have to be firm enough to say, like, this is how it is, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it.
Right.
But you also have to be able to say, what can we do to make it better? How can you? What's your problem? Let's see if we can fix it. Let's talk about it. Let's fix it.
Yep.
How about this? Does this work for you, or what? You know what I mean? This is what we can do, and I think you have to be. I think that's what like creates good customer service. You have to have good customers to have a good business,
mm-hmm.
and they're paying money to be there.
Right.
So they can very easily say, "I'm not going to come back."
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
So I think with that, and then. I think the third thing would be like like how fast kind of you get through the day. You know what I mean?
Like efficiency, maybe.
Yeah, like efficiency, I guess. And it's not so much fast; it's more efficient. Like how could we? Because you get a day, there's 800, 900,000 teams. You're not going to be done at noon anyways. You're going to be there for a minute.
Right.
But how can, I mean, that's why we have guys hired like Nehemiah and Little Country, Hayes Bruce, that shag steers. Because, I mean, they help clear the arena fast. They pick up ropes, the flagger.
Yeah, because that.
The team turn around, ride right back. You
right.
know, little things like that. Starting on time, going into the next rope and immediately, starting the short round as fast as you can.
Yeah.
You know, kind of keeping your tractor drags to a minimal throughout the day to where you don't, like, compromise, like, the quality of the ground. Obviously, you don't have a 200 rotation. But, like, when you get 10, 12, or even more tractor drags in a day and it's taking 7 to 9 minutes a drag, that's a lot of time of the day.
Yeah,
just the tractor going for it. So it adds up. So being able to, you know, efficiently run the day. And then I think the fourth thing, kind of like I was talking about, we'll go having an event.
Yeah.
And I want, like, that's what we really want to do. And I feel like that's kind of what ties it together, because Shelbyland Photography is there taking pictures at every rope, and Ridley taking, you know, she does all the daily recaps and the highlight videos of the ropings and the winter videos, you know, little things like that. Even the smallest thing like that video. I remember as a kid when they did the U.S. Finals highlights.
Oh, yeah.
You watched every one of them. Even if
I still watch them. I watch them now.
I had one video. I made one video in however many years I went up there, and it was me swinging my rope, and I bet I watched that thing 15 times just back up there and right there.
Right.
You know, and it was
that's me.
Half up on the screen. But it was cool to see that.
For sure.
But then, you know, all the vendors like Steer Crazy and Dalton, he comes to all the ropings, and the cops with rank racks, Caitlin and Justin.
Oh, yeah.
And then, what I think what's been really cool is, like, there's a lot of, like, national sponsors now, like Stretch Rope and Dummies and Next Level Health and Wellness, and we've had Resistol, we've had Superior Sleep, and we've had Lubricant, and like Barry Berg, like with Cactus Rope, he might not have a booth.
Yeah,
he's got a trailer out there.
He's coming, ropes, right?
And he'll help you. You know what I mean? So I think it's really cool having that and having all those. I mean, every roping that we have, I feel like you can walk down there on the concourse of the arena or the main deal around the arena, and you can find. I mean, there's jewelry and there's clothes and there's knives and there's tack and like all this stuff, and I think that just kind of adds into it. And then, like, to me, a big part is like the aesthetic of the arena. You know, like I love, like, I'll go above and beyond with the banners. I just think it's cool. That's how it was when I was a kid. That's just something like I took from the U.S. ropings when I was a kid. They could have a U.S. roping in a pig barn, and when you walked in there, it felt like a coliseum. You know? And that's, to me, that adds to it. Like, I'm not going to say what, but, like, I went to roping last year, like a bigger roping, and they had, like, 2 banners hung up on the fence. I was like, are you serious? Like, this is a big deal. Like,
we're fixing to rope for some money right here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, and it might, most people might not look at it and think 2 thoughts about it, the banners on this, but to me, it just looks good. When you walk in there and the arena's all the way wrapped, and, like, it looks good, and I think that adds to it, and that's, like, one of the main things that we want to try to do is we want to produce events. And I think when we have an event and we run it efficiently and we have good customer service, and we handle our steers good, it's like, to me, that's the things that's going to have a great roping. And that, I think that's what, like we were talking about a while ago with having a good experience as a roper.
Yep.
Like, all those things tie in together, and like, you can't really they all four have to be there,
right,
for it to be a good roping
come
in
together.
my eyes.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, there's been times where you've gone to big ropings and everything feels great, and the steers are maybe a little janky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like, you take one of those things away, and to me, it turns it into a jackpot, or it just turns it into, you know, not a very good roping, or yada yada. But like, all four of those things, and I feel like that's kind of what all of us strive for. And I was actually thinking this the other day, and it, like, I mean, I thought about it, but I guess it really never sunk in. But like, with us and Mathews Land and Cattle, like I said, me and Kirsty, Chris and Kenna, Orrin, we all live on the same place.
Right.
Well, like, Trey Paul, and this, to me, Trey Paul is one of the best flaggers there is. And I might sound biased now, but I think Trey Paul does an outstanding job. And Trey Paul has worked for us for a long time. His mom, Teresa, was a saint of a woman. And she worked for us for a long time. Taisha, his sister, works for us. Lacey, Trey Paul's wife, works for us. Like, the Paul family's been there for a long time in that deal. And then, like, Big Country, Zane Bruce, he's flagging. Tina Marie's helping in the office. Timon, Little Country's working the arena. And then, like, Little Country and Big Country both have come and broken steers. You know, like Peyton Powell, he started from shagging steers to flagging to announcing. He's come up there and broken steers. Caden Prince is the same way. Caden Prince flags now, and I think Caden does a great job. And I think he's just gotten better and better. And like, he comes up there and helps work cows, and he helps break in steers. And like, Nehemiah Mendoza the same way. Like, he's pretty instrumental in a lot of it. Like, probably more than he thinks, really, because now he's gonna have a big head when he listens to this.
We're not. I hope he doesn't listen to this. Y'all are. No, he's never gonna shag steers ever again, ever.
Yeah, his head can't really get much bigger.
Right.
He wears a size 8. But,
right.
Yeah, but like, he breaks in steers. He comes and helps work cows. He goes to the ropings. He stays and helps load steers. He moves cattle around. He shags steers. Like, just anything you need. But like, it's just kind of crazy how, like, the whole crew, it's not only the roping. Like, they come work cows. They come break in steers. You know, like, it's just really cool how it's kind of all in its own world, really. You know, it's not like we never see these guys ever. They show up to the roping and work. And like, even Trey Paul used to come up to break in steers, and Ray Paul, his dad, used to come break in steers all the time. Like, it's been a really big deal. Like, our shoe crew, Branson runs the first crew, Bennett and Rodney and Roland run the second crew, and it's the same guys, the same crew, dang near, give or take a guy or two every once in a while, but all year long through Vegas. And that's really cool, because like, those guys, I mean, they know how we like things run, and they know how we want it done, and they just do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think too, I think they're the best guys on the shoot crew, man. Like, there's great shoot crews and stuff, but those guys, they bust their butt, and the same guys all year long, and they always show up when they say they're going to. And I'm telling you, if the arena was falling down, like the roof was falling off, you could just throw them some zip ties and duct tape and just say, I don't care, just fix it.
Yeah.
And you could walk away. You might not want to go look at it. It might fall down Monday morning, but that sucker will make it through the weekend.
Yeah, we're going to get through the rest of the open.
Yeah, like, we had a guy break his arm on the shoot crew one time. Went to the hospital, come back, worked all weekend.
Wow.
Yes, right here in Andrews one time. The Cordell, one of the guys on the strip and shoot, a steer smashed his finger and like blew the end of his thumb like off.
Oh my God.
OFF off. Blew it away. Went to the hospital, come back, worked the rest of the night and the whole next day. Like,
wow.
I mean, they're tough.
Yeah,
and
I'd say.
They work hard, and but it's just kind of cool. Like, it's our own little circle of people, and everybody helps, and everybody does a good job.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I feel like everybody gets along good, and everybody does their part, and I think everybody knows like what the goal is. Like those 4 things, that's what we want to do.
Right.
You know, so, and I think everybody does a good job at that.
That's awesome.
Meanwhile, I just talk.
Yeah, no way. You just talk.
I just talk and play music on my golden mic.
Yeah, on your golden mic. Goodness gracious.
You got to have a trademark.
You do have to have a trademark. Yep.
Yeah,
if yours is your golden mic, I guess that will do.
Yeah, Farron's is rattle the gates and make a little noise, and mine's a golden mic.
Yeah. I do love, like, when you go to, not mimicking him, but, like, when you add in some of stuff that I, like, know came from him, I'm like, oh, dude, this is the coolest. He really does have the best. The best.
Yeah, he's got such, and I want to say all of them, but I'm like, man, I can't just sit up here and.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I can't just sit up here and say all of his stuff. And,
yeah. We call you a poser.
I also really like Tyler Cornett's announcing, too.
Yeah, Tyler does a great job. Between you and Chris is going through something, I'm going to say, what's it, like 6 years earlier than you are, because he's got Karsten and you've got Hardy, right? But talk to me about being a dad and kind of what that's, I know he's young, but again, I know he's a feral raccoon, I know that, but talk to me about what that's done just for your outlook on stuff and your life and just what being a dad's meant, and we'll get to, I'm assuming, your other favorite job, which is being a husband, but tell me about what a dad's done, what being a dad's done for your life and just how it's all been different since he was born.
Didn't know you could love something so much. I love my wife.
Right.
But, yeah, I'll push her out of the way for Hardy.
Yeah, I think she would agree with you.
And it's crazy because you hear everybody talk about it, but until they're born and you get to hold them, like it completely, you don't realize how much you can really love something.
Yeah.
You know, and it really has kind of changed because he does everything that I do. You know, like Kirsty has a picture of me putting the satellite on we got Starlink, putting it on the side of the house, and I have a drill up there, and he's got a screwdriver, and we have a stucco house, and he's just down there just driving it in the side of the house. But just because I'm up there doing it, you know, but so many little things that I do, like I'd sit on the floor when he was a baby, and I'd rope my foot. He'd have his little rope, and I'd rope my foot. Well, pretty soon he'd start swinging his rope, and he would just wrap it around his foot. So, like, so many little things that I do, he does. So it's kind of made me, like, a little more aware of like how I talk and how I do certain things, because I know that if anybody's going to copy me, it's going to be him, you know.
Right.
But it's, you know, I always try to look at like roping in life as it's really not that big a deal. We'll get through it, you know.
Yeah.
There's really nothing like, I mean, at the end of the day, competing and roping, like it really is just roping. Mm-hmm. You know, and so, but like having him, like I've kind of, like now it's almost like it doesn't really matter what happens. Like I can come home to him and he's just happy and good mood. Like, and I know a lot of people have said this, like, oh, they don't realize Dad just missed one for a lot of money. You know what I mean?
They have no idea. Yeah.
Or what? Yeah, they have no idea. You know what I mean? But I think he knows how cool his dad is, but... Oh,
sure, he knows that. He probably came out of the womb knowing that. You probably whispered that to him when he was in Kirsty's belly, like, you have a cool dad.
I mean, he's got to know that by now, but... Yeah, but, no, like, it just... It's been really cool, and, like, now... I'm excited. I'm ready for the times that, like, I get to... When he wants to jackpot or he wants to start junior rodeoing and stuff, like I'm already looking forward to that time, you know.
Yeah.
And I got to see it with, I mean, I've been around Karsten obviously since the day she was born, and she's 8 years old now, and it doesn't even seem like it's been that long ago. But like growing up with her, which like me and Chris are, I mean, Chris is a brother to me. We're family, you know. We've been through a lot of stuff together and a lot of life together and learned a lot together and traveled all over the world together. So, I mean, like Karsten, same thing. Like she's family, you know? And so, like getting to see how Chris and Ken are with her, and then like now getting to experience it myself with Hardy, it's really cool. And honestly, like I give Kirsty a hard time, but Kirsty is the best mom in the world.
Pretty much the coolest.
She was definitely made to be a mom, and like it same thing. It kind of tugs on all heartstrings, like getting to watch her, like, just be a mom to Hardy, like nurture him and love him, and you know what I mean. So I'm really glad that yes, I'm glad we had the little fella finally. Kirsty wanted to have one when we were babies ourselves. I told her, I'm still a kid. You got to raise 2 of them now.
Yeah.
But I told Kirsty the other day, I was like, what did we do before we had Hardy? We just sat out and
had all this free time.
Talk to each other like a bunch of nerds. What
can't be doing that.
You know? What did we do before this? Yeah, you know? And so, because, I mean, it's a lot more fun. And just like driving the other day, we were in Calf Ten and Mescalero going to those rodeos. We're going through one of those canyons over there, just easing along. And there's a bunch of elk on the side of the road. Like, usually I just drive right by them. I've seen them 400 times, you know what I mean? But I whipped it around and drove right up to him and rolled the window down so Hardy could yell at him, you know? Like, it makes a lot of, like, the small things just that much more enjoyable, you know?
For sure.
And then watching him, like, his best friend in the world is Karsten, you know? Best friend. So he watches her rope and break away every day, and like watching them ride around on the horse together, and just a lot of that stuff. Like, I don't know. I definitely have a soft spot for it.
Yeah. I couldn't hardly tell.
Yeah, it's great to see. And that's, if he decides he wants to rope, I'll give him every opportunity he can. And if he wants to play soccer, same thing. We'll have every opportunity we can.
Yeah.
But,
do that.
And I'm probably guessing he's probably going to rope.
I would. You'd hope so.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't want it to go by too fast when I'm definitely ready.
Yeah. For
the coming years when he's a little more independent and he could ride and do stuff by himself a little more, you know.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So, to your second favorite human on the planet, I'm assuming, how cool is it to have, now mind you, she's one of my best friends, so you be nice, all right? But how cool is it to have, yeah, I figured, but how cool is it to have a wife that, like, I'm assuming this is just always how y'all were, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, she very much, or y'all as a family, y'all bought into, like, the same thing, you know what I mean? Like, y'all are raising Hardy in this world that's the coolest thing ever, that we get to live the way we do, right, and get to rope and be cowboys for a living. But, like, how cool is it that, like, Kirsty, in my opinion, is, you know, handier than you. So, like, she's very much doing it right alongside you. She's not just sitting in the stands. If anything, she's not in the stands at all, and your mother-in-law is chasing your feral raccoon child around. So, like, how cool is that to have a wife that, man, she's, like, right alongside you. She's not just sitting in the truck. She's not just staying at home. She's very much doing it right alongside with you. How cool is that?
It's been cool since, like, it's kind of, Kirsty, like, always roped and, like, junior rodeoed and stuff, but, like, obviously when we were together all the time, she's roped a lot more, and, like, Kirsty is super competitive, and, like, it's not even fun to play, like... She ain't going to admit to it, but she hasn't won a game of Monopoly in 14 years.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that in there. She's going to hate you for saying that.
Yeah,
she's going to be mad.
She's so competitive, but, like, she likes to rope and ride, and especially now, like, with Hardy, we saddle Hardy's horse and, you know, take Hardy's dummy everywhere, and like, she goes out in the barn, she'll get off of work, and she's a nurse, and she'll be out there in her scrubs roping the dummy in the barn, and Hardy's roping his little dummy, you know.
Yeah.
But it's everything. Like, my deal has always been, if I have it, we have it.
Yeah.
You know, it's never been mine and hers, and she's been the same way. If she has it, we have it, and everything we do, we're all in together. You know, and we obviously, like, some things she probably would like for me to talk to her before I buy some things.
Well, I'm sure.
But like, yeah, all the decisions we make revolve around roping. Like, well, what's this weekend when we're going to be here? We're going to go do this, you know. But, like, she's a trooper. She'll get right in the truck and get Hardy in there, and we'll drive 12 hours. Like, it's not a big deal, and go to the rodeo and pack him up and go right on, and it's really cool to have, because Kirsty I give her a really hard time, and she is lucky, but so am I, because she's always backed everything that I've wanted to do, and she's super supportive of everything, and like I don't think this, people might be like, yeah, right, but like we don't have like fights or arguments about stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's like I said, I mean, she's my best friend in the world.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's really cool though that like she enjoys roping as much as I do, and getting to go and jackpot. Because I mean, that's usually like last year I took her up there to Cheyenne to rope so I could watch Hardy. And
yeah.
I mean, dude, for sure, a shout out to her mom Audrey, because she comes to every rope event.
She's everywhere.
Tames Hardy for us for the weekend, so Kirsty can work in the office and I can announce and we can both rope. But yeah, it's really cool that like we don't really have to take a family vacation, go do something. Like, we'd rather hook onto our trailer and load our horses and go rope somewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe go to the park.
Yeah. So that Hardy can play.
Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, something, But it's really cool to have that.
That's awesome.
Pretty lucky.
Very cool. I talked to Chris, right? I talked to all you guys. The general consensus between everybody that's watches your heeling is that, like, if you wanted to, and if you had the opportunity, you could go, like, for real. Not announce ropings. No. I'm talking do what all the guys are doing this summer, right? Is that something, if Chris decided, man, like, we'll go to the little stuff, but I'm good, go find you a header? Because he said, I know he's told you this. I know he has. I've heard him say it, like, man, just go. You go, I got is that something you would even do? And I'm sure time could change the answer or whatever, but is that even something you would consider doing, is finding somebody that's not Chris and finding a run and kind of trying to go after it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to have the opportunity, and I guess like to like get to what I'm saying, like Chris, I love roping with Chris, and it's worked really good for us because we rope together every day.
Right.
We rope fresh. Like, we don't live in Stephenville, and we can stay at a high level.
Right.
Like I don't feel like there's a rope when we go to where I feel like we can't win.
Right.
Like I don't ever feel, and I feel like we've worked. Chris has an amazing work ethic when it comes to roping, and he's really like, watching him work at it as hard as he does makes me work at it harder.
Yeah.
So like that, I've really enjoyed that part, and then just what we do, it's really worked for both of us. To rope together for as long as we have, and it doesn't even seem like it's been as long as it has, honestly. But we still go a lot. Like, we rodeo a lot, and just being 100% honest with you, there's years that we've gone to a lot of rodeos and just didn't win hardly anything.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, we've done good here and there, and like we had a few years there to where like I didn't have horses and he didn't have horses, and like I don't know if there was a few times in there that we've rodeoed pretty hard, and like I only had one horse. Like, my good horse was crippled. His good horse was crippled, and he just got a head horse. It's like, because by God, we're gonna rodeo. And
yeah.
Then, like, we look up and we're like, oh, we won, and it cost us 13 to do it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, I mean, I guess we have some money in our pocket still, but like, I think that's kind of been to be 100% honest with you, that's been a thing for me for a long time and I feel like this is something that doesn't, I mean, it gets talked about, but it really doesn't. It costs something to rodeo.
Oh man.
And I don't want to sound discouraging to like people like, oh, well, I don't have, you can do it.
Yeah. If you want about enough, you can.
I'm not saying that you can't, and I'm not, but I'm just telling you better have a way to do it, and I've had friends tell me, and I've heard people tell me, I've literally have you worry about the money too much. Well, my pickup doesn't run on hopes and dreams.
Yeah, I have to. You're right.
I have to have, and I have no money. There's no money at home.
Right.
I have a dad. It's not like I can call grandma and be like, hey, can I get like, there was never a safety net as like, like I've been 10, 12 hours from home and can't get home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and that sucks, and that's hard. And like I've put the blood, the sweat, and the tears into it. And I mean, like I think early on, I don't think I was ready. Honestly, I felt it at the time, but looking back, I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I finally felt like I was ready and started getting some breaks and like winning good checks and starting to have more success to where I felt like I belonged a little more, I guess. But like I've heard a lot of people always say like about worrying about the money, and like I said, money doesn't define my character. Like I will put up the last 100 to enter. I'm not scared to have. I've been without them.
Yeah.
My dad and I, like I was saying, tough time. Like we've lived in motel rooms. We've been homeless. We lived in travel trailers. Like I know what nothing looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm not scared to be there. I don't want to put my family in that now.
Right.
Obviously, you know what I mean. I can't do it for the glory.
Yeah.
Like glory don't pay enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Man,
so,
that's a mic drop, my friend.
Yeah, like I just for the sake of being like, yeah, I'm rodeoing. Like I love to rodeo and I love it. And yeah, I mean, if the opportunity arose where I could get a great partner and have a chance to go to go a year and be like, heck yeah, great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, Chris and I have had the conversations, and I've always felt the same. If a way better guy than me called, and heck yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't let me stop you. Yeah.
Yeah, like we've always known neither one of us are going to hold the other one back.
Right.
You know? And I think we've had the longevity, like I said, and we've been a really good team. But like I've had guys that, and I'm sure I'll probably catch some flack over this, but I don't really care. I'm honest as it is.
Right.
Like I've had guys say, well, I didn't have nothing, you know what I mean? And they got their dad's credit card.
Right.
I didn't even have a credit card, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have enough to go around, you know?
Yeah.
And so, or like, if I got low, I could call mom and dad and get $1,500 or $1,000. Like,
right.
Literally, like I literally had my truck blow up one time and was stranded for a week because I couldn't afford a truck payment for one.
Right.
I didn't have enough money to buy a truck, and my dad didn't have enough money to buy a truck, and didn't have enough money to put a down payment down towards a truck.
Right.
So I just sat there for a week, and I ended up having to sell one of my good heel horses so I can buy a pickup.
Yeah, that's how it was.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's just how it was. I mean, but I grew up. I knew what I was getting into.
Right.
Same thing. You know what I mean? It's not like it blindsided me. I mean, like I said, my dad hauled me all over the country, and I had to win. Like, there was no. Granted, there's a lot of times I lost, but like if I wanted to go next week, I better figure out a way to win now.
Yeah.
You know, something. And like, as a kid, I always felt kind of behind anyways, all those other kids that were my age, like Wesley Thorpe and the Kirchenslagers and like Lane Ivy and Brent Ivy and, you know, the Thompsons and stuff like that and Brady Norman. And I mean, I can go on and on
right.
with all those kids, you know, and the Smith brothers. And like, I always felt a little behind, but I'm made a living winning third and fourth.
Yeah. Third pays.
You know,
a lot of time
like
third pays, yeah.
I don't have like all the accolades that like a lot of the kids, like U.S. Finals wins and Junior World wins and stuff. You know, we didn't have like the Junior BFI and stuff back then. We just had basically the Junior World and the U.S. Finals. Like that was the big stuff, you know. I mean, I placed, but I never, like I didn't have all the wins. I just tried to catch 2 feet when they turned the steers. And I knew that if I did that enough times, I could at least probably win third or fourth.
Right.
Know? And so just having the means to be able to go rodeo, to know that like I can go next week, you know.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's got to be filthy rich, or I mean, there's guys out there that aren't and make it fine.
Make it work, yeah.
Like there's a lot of people with endorsements and fuel cards and a little bit here and a little bit there, and you know what I mean. And that's I kind of had a long time ago. I kind of had a come to Jesus meeting with myself because I'd been like on my own trying to go. It was right before I started roping with Chris, and like I I didn't have money to do nothing. You
Yeah.
know, and I had been in Stephenville for like a month because I was like, that's where I need to be, you know?
Right.
And I couldn't afford to be, like, I couldn't even afford to breathe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At that point. And so I got just enough money where I could barely make it home. And like at that time, I used to have all these pictures of all these guys on my wall, and I was like, I don't want to be a rodeo bum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to look up and be like 10 years down the road and still don't have nothing to show. Like I wanted to have, I'm not materialistic, but I wanted to have something to show for it, and God's blessed me so much. I mean, like I told Kirsty the other day, the best rig I've ever had in my life is Hardy's first rig.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
Seen some of the janky stuff I had to drive around in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying this is like I'm the only guy that's doesn't have money to do it.
Yeah, right.
But
I think there's
not a poor pitiful me.
Right, but there's a lot of guys though that
stories of the guys that act like they've had such a hard time, and I can promise you,
yeah,
it wasn't that damn bad.
Right, y'all are fine.
I've seen your place, but
yeah,
my place.
Yeah, come hang out with me for a little bit.
Yeah, come walk a mile in my shoes. Like,
yeah,
be careful to ride when they have a sole on it. You know? So,
right.
But but I honestly, I feel like it's God's timing.
Yeah.
And I mean I pray about it a lot, and that's like I always pray to open doors that need to be open and close the ones that don't. And if that's what I'm going to do, then I mean God knows the desires. Yeah, I'd love to rodeo. I'd love to do it and be able to still afford to make ends meet and take care of my family and be able to do it at the same time, you know?
Right.
And like the thing that I think the thing that a lot of people don't get is a lot of people always say, and I'm not saying you say this, but like a lot of people always say, how come you don't try? Like,
right.
Believe me, I've tried.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I've gone. Yes, and this just tells you how good my wife is. I entered one time. We were entered a bunch, and like I figured that if I could pay my fees at Reno, I could enter that week. Like Cheyenne opened that week, and a bunch of rodeos, kind of all through July. And there was about 2 weeks. I didn't win nothing. I didn't have enough money to pay my fees. I didn't worry about it.
Right.
I was like, surely I'll win something. You know, as long as I have enough money, I'm not going to eat much anyways. We're driving everywhere, but as long as I have enough money and fuel, I can get around. Well, then we get 2 weeks later, we get home. Well, the books are opening for like Dodge City and stuff like that. Well, I'm super ineligible.
Yeah.
So I go tell Kirsten, I'm like, I can't even enter because I'm ineligible. Like I can't even enter Lovington, the circuit rodeo, because I'm ineligible.
Right.
And so I just pretty well maxed Kirsten's credit card out right there, and she helped me do it. And I like little stuff like that, you know, and I just, to me there for a while, like I said, the glory, like it wasn't, it's later in life now. So for me to just dig a deep hole just for the glory of it would be really hard. You know? But granted, if the right opportunity comes around and stuff happens, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know
like always.
I mean? Yeah, just like always. You'll always figure it out.
Yep.
You know, but I always felt like God had me where He wanted me, and I feel like I said, I'm getting to rope for a living, and I've been able to stay relevant and have longevity and place it. I mean, we've placed at several major rodeos and major jackpots, and I mean, like if I was not winning at that, it'd be a little different, but I feel like obviously the hard work pays off. Like I work really hard at my roping still, and so does Chris, and if the opportunity comes up, great, you know?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, fine. And if it's Hardy that's supposed to be the one that carries the torch,
cool beans.
I'll make sure he has, I'll make sure he has everything he has to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So, and that's kind of that's just the one thing that irritates a lot of people is like the try. Like I have tried. I've gone and rodeoed and done good and been great, and like, man, this is the easiest thing in the world. And then, I mean, because Orrin has been great with us, like letting us stay gone and letting us rodeo, and I mean, there's been times we've been gone for a month.
Yeah.
You know, and might not win nothing. So, like, if I can't afford to drive over there, then I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know? Like we do it ourselves, and so. But I like the fact that we're doing it ourselves, and like we don't live in Stephenville, and have been able to stay at like a high level. And nothing, I don't mean that like in a bad way of the guys in Stephenville like that. Yeah, if you're gonna rope, what a place to be.
Right. Probably got to come over here. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, great. Like, you want to see how good you are, go down there.
Yeah.
Go down there.
It sorts the boys from the men.
Yeah, take a good horse and take your good rope and
good luck.
Yeah, you're gonna need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna need it.
Yeah. Good luck.
You know? Exactly. So, but it's been kind of cool, and maybe no one will ever, but I hope maybe there's someone that's like, well, maybe I don't have to do that to have success at that level. You know?
Yeah. Because they've watched what y'all have done. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe not. Maybe people are like, well, that's stupid, and I'm just going to go to Stephenville, which is fine. You know,
yeah, that's fine.
Each their own. Whatever floats your goat. You do what you want to do. Person creates their own happiness. So.
Right.
And I don't, like, just 100% honest with you, I don't regret anything.
Good. That was going to be my next question.
I'm not like, I wish I'd have done. Because, like, I can tell you the one of the years I went to the George Strait, I had been in Stephenville, I had no money to enter the George Strait.
Cool.
I had 2 guys ask, had no money to enter, so I wasn't going to go. I was just going to, I guess, stay in Stephenville. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad called me that day. This is the most money I've ever gotten one time. He's told me, he said, can you still enter the Strait? And I was like, I think so. I mean, I'd probably call Vicky.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I think I have this horse sold. If I get him sold, I'm going to make $1,000. I'm going to give it to you so you can go to George Strait.
Wow.
So
shout out, Dad.
I was like, okay. So he calls that night. Good. I drive down there. My first guy misses. My second guy was actually Brandon Gonzalez. I roped a lot with Brandon that passed away. And we were good on our first one. Our second one kind of went to the left. I heeled him, and Brandon's horse got like hung up facing on the fence. And we get tight. We're clean. We make it back by 1. Oh,
man.
So I'm like, and some people be like, well, why'd you spend that? If that's all you got, why'd you go to the George Strait? Because it freaking paid $80,000.
Because you had to, yeah.
That chance I might win 4th.
Yeah.
Great with that.
Yeah, I would have been fine.
Like, I'll put it all up, and I can remember going to. I had a couple of guys ask me to go to Bulverde, which that's kind of what everybody did after the George Strait.
Yeah, that's where they went. Yeah.
I remember roping the dummy with Britt Ellerman and Trey Yates out in the parking lot. And actually, Britt stayed at the house today and was actually telling me the story. And then we went to Sonic. Well, Trey said, hey, my dad's going to eat at Logan's. Let's go eat. Let's go to the steakhouse. I was like, all right. So I drove over there knowing I can't afford to eat in there.
Yeah. Like, I can't afford to eat gas station food.
Trey and I have been friends for a long time. I stayed the night with him, and I mean, I don't know how many nights I've spent with Trey Yates and Dick Yates.
Yeah.
And I know dang good and well if I'd have went in there, Dick would have fed me.
Right.
But I wasn't going to go in there expecting it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't tell these guys. I'm just thinking of any way I can get out of this, you know? And so I just tell them I'm not going to eat. So I go back because I got to save my money and go to Bulverde because that's some really good runs ask me. And I'm like, I need to go rope with those guys because that's how I'm going to make the money, you know? And I went like 4-6 with one guy over there. Might have won 25th. Like so slow. Yeah, great run. Just
didn't matter.
Second too slow. Yeah, and we went to the next day. A guy from home asked me about going to Liberty Hill to the open rope, and I'm like, dude, I have no money. He's like, let's rope, and the fees are free if you go to church. I was like, see you there, buddy.
I'm in. Down. Yeah, put me down twice. Find me another one.
Yeah, so I went over there, and I had a decent callback. I had a chance to win something, and my partner, I think he missed or broke the barrier. So I was like, no big deal. Like, I don't hold it. I know any person I rope with is trying. So I'm not like, golly, you know.
Yep.
And I went out there, and I sat on my trailer, and I was like, well, now what? Like, I'd been in Stephenville for a month, so now, like, I'm kind of getting in the click of, like, hey, what about the Buck and Duck? Or what about Austin's on Tuesday night? Or, And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know, And I just decided I'm going to go home. And I had just enough money to make it home. And I tell you what, I didn't even have a bank account at that time.
Oh, man.
If I had it, it was on me.
Yeah.
And the only way my dad could give me money, if he ever did, was I had one of those like prepaid Walmart debit cards.
Nice.
He could load it up at the Walmart.
Yeah.
He'd drive 20 miles to Walmart and could put it on there, and I had to go get it off.
Oh, funny.
But I pulled into Marble Falls, and I could go straight west and go to Llano and home, or I could turn and go Hamilton, Hico, Stephenville. And I sat right there at that intersection forever. I was like, man, if I just go to Stephenville,
yeah,
it's not going to take much for me to get home. And then, honestly, at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm just going home.
Yeah.
So I went home, and that's when exactly a week later is when I went up there with Chris.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, like just and nothing against. I mean, had chances to win stuff in that time and didn't, and like no big deal. But that's what I was saying. Like I wasn't even ready at that time.
Yeah.
I honestly I wouldn't even. I felt at the time maybe like I was good enough, but honestly, I probably wasn't.
Okay.
But I tried to work hard at it so that when I had the opportunities, when Chris wanted to go, like I told myself, wherever Chris wants to go, I'm going to go. I'm not going to say no, I can't. And so it didn't matter if I had to sell a saddle or a bridle or not eat, whatever it was.
We were
like,
figuring it out.
Make sure I'm going to go wherever Chris wants to go, because Chris ropes great. And that time he'd already won the U.S. Open. He'd won money at the BFI. Won good at the rodeos. Like, I had a great partner. So I need to make sure I was not only ready to go, but when he turned the steer, I was ready to catch him. You know?
Ideally catch the cow, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, and like I was saying, I feel like, I'm just kind of rambling now, but I feel like the money, like people kind of talk about it, but at the same time, like they don't really talk about it. Like,
yeah, it's not in the way you're talking about.
I don't want to discourage any kid from ever thinking you can't do this or not do this. You 100% can.
Yeah.
But you have to know, and especially now, if you're going to play the game,
yeah, you better be ready.
You got to play it. You got to play it like they play it. Like I've heard guys that say, "Oh, I'm just going to rodeo and not jackpot." Well, how would you not jackpot? The jackpots pay so good.
Yeah, you got to go. You have to go to them.
And competition's the best practice. And I'm sorry, but Caleb Driggers, Wesley Thorpe, if they're not at a small roping, they're at a big roping. If they're not a small rodeo, they're at a big rodeo, or they're at a horse show, or they're at futurity, or
nonstop.
A slide roping, maybe trying a horse. They are constantly competing. And you show up over there to 377 for the 30-teamer, and you're riding your good one, and they're riding a fourth stringer that's a fantastic horse. Like, your good one can only take so many.
Right.
And then you're going to head out for the summer. You run $4 million on that horse already.
Yeah.
Now he's tired. Now he's sore. Like, if you're going to play the game, like, I mean, I feel like if you're going to do it, you need to get as all in as you can be.
For sure. That's hard.
As far as, like, and I don't feel like, and there's so many times, like, Chris and I have been entered a lot and literally just, like, don't win much, and, like, I'll just, draw out or turn out or doctor out or whatever. Like, if you can't go, obviously doctor out. But just because, and I like, Chris has a herd of good head horses now that he's gotten. Like, I feel like I've got some good heel horses, and I'm always looking for one. And same with Chris. Like, I feel like we dang sure try to be as all in and playing that game as best as we can. That's get to go rope like at Drigger's house. Chris and Driggers are great friends, and so, like, get to go down there and rope with those guys, and it's kind of just butting heads with them. You know what I mean? When you get to rope with guys like that and get to practice, and see how they practice, and it kind of brings out a better side of you, anyways.
For sure.
But like, I feel like we've dang sure been able to stay at least relevant. I feel like, I mean, I'm honest enough with myself to know if we weren't, I would do something different. But but it dang sure you need to dang sure have a way to do it.
Yeah.
or have a way to start putting some money aside where you can. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot, especially when you get into the summer and you're gone for a couple months. Like, costs a lot to stay gone.
Yeah.
And flying and.
Oh man.
Like we've done the deal with flying and having 2 rigs, and yeah, that adds up pretty quick.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine a couple weeks of it's too much.
Yeah, you better win something.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. I do.
But I feel like we've tried, and have we gone to 80 rodeos yet? No, but we go as much as we can and try to do as good as we can every time. You know. Mm-hmm. We don't ever try to like give ourselves a way out. Like, oh, if we don't have this one, then we'll just go home. You know.
Yeah.
Like we try to stay entered as much as we can.
For sure. But
like I said, if the opportunity arose, where even if it's not me, if it's him, if somebody called him, you know, I totally back that play too. You know,
for
whatever.
Sure. Well, sir, we've officially hit the 2-hour mark. I bet your wife's about ready to kill you, so I will turn you loose, but I sure appreciate you talking to me. I have enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Alrighty, everybody, that's a wrap for another episode of The Score. Thanks, everybody, for making it this far. I know Cade and I talked for a while, but I hope everybody enjoyed it and got something out of it. I know I sure enjoyed getting to talk to him. Thank you again to Fastback Ropes for bringing us this episode. Remember, visit fastbackropes.com to shop ropes and gear, find a retailer, or download the latest catalog. Thanks again for listening, y'all. We'll catch you at the next one.